Hello and welcome to Time for Security. My name is Oliver Fine. We are here in Rotterdam at the ASIS International European Conference 2018. With me is Eduard Emde. Eduard Emde is past president ASIS International and he is the chairman of this conference. Eduard, welcome. Thank you for being here. What is, if you allow me this question, what is your impression from this conference?
Well, thank you, Oliver. It's a good moment to ask because we're wrapping up. We have had a very successful conference, I think. So always, because I'm the chair, always a bit anxious when things come together after a year of preparation. ASIS has a lot of ambition, making this every year better. So now I can tell you that I feel it was a success. You always strive for success. We had large turnout, more than 700 people registered in all shapes and forms. Some people only attend one training, some other people of course attend the full 2.5 days event with all the nice networking as well. So extremely happy, especially because the concept seems to be what people want. The concept being looking at how risks change and then how we need to respond as a security professional. And with all these elements of the keynotes, training sessions, the exhibits, and it somehow all came beautifully together. And I must say, especially now, we have had also even beautiful weather. And all these things, it might sound silly, come to play in a city like Rotterdam, where we are now, that it was a great event. Starting with looking at the environment. So what is the business environment happening? What is changing? In this case, interconnectedness, what is happening in the world. We had keynotes speaking there about almost a futurist look. So, for example, energy transition, or for example, the fact that everything will be connected. That was described from a technological point of view, a societal point of view, and then we started to zoom in. What does it mean for the risk landscape? And then, of course, what does it mean for companies? Our members, our attendees work for companies that pay their salaries in the end to be protected. And this was the theme that in many, many ways during the 2 days we've looked at what does it mean, how do we educate ourselves, what do we need to understand. And for example, 2 companies were mentioned. One was Tesla, a company which will move from being a sort of car company to an electricity company because the cars have batteries, which will be very interesting to use for other reasons than only cars. And there's, for example, a company that used to produce light bulbs, and they will now migrate to provide services. They will provide light services to municipalities. And as you can imagine, that their risk profile will change. First it was manufacturing, where they had to make something. Now they provide a service. They have a network of many, many lamps. So you can see that if you're there as a security manager, you have to change. And I'm quite happy that overall I've had very good feedback, that all the people felt that they gained from these 2 days here, that they learned, that they somehow got something to answer these questions. So extremely proud and happy.
All right, that is good to hear. Eduard, we all see these changes going on within the headquarters of ASIS International. How do you think this impinges upon the development of this conference here in Europe?
Let me have a try at answering that question. Of course, I'm not only happy to be here with the success of this conference, I'm also invited to be the chair for next year, in March, in 2019, when we return to Rotterdam, hopefully with the same way of looking at technology and what it means for all of us. So I think on that level, whatever changes, only maybe our speakers and other elements, which will work greatly on a success. Headquarters itself, I mean, in the end, it's about members. So it's about member value, and I think when you look at ASIS is an organization that, if it would be a human, would be at a certain age, being founded in 1955, with all the chapters. Some chapters in Europe are now 25 years old, so they are young adults. But on the other hand, the association had to change and adjust, and I think we have seen great change, a lot of changes, and what you should see as a member and what potential members should see is great change of transparency, of new ways of doing things, facilitating the members. So to me, it will only be helpful. And as a conference chair, I benefit a lot because the more people interact, for example, on ASIS Connect, the more we can tell them about the conference. So to me, it's a great win. Of course, people who are volunteers see too much when many people joke that it's about tasting the sausage, and I think the ASIS sausage is very nice, but it's not how it's being made, because you don't want to see what happens in sausage factory all the time. And I think this is where I feel proud ASIS is making changes, but we see, as an average member, as an average security professional, we see a lot of good things coming out of it.
Okay. Eduard, you started in ASIS International, if I'm right informed, as a student member, right, and you made it all the way up to ASIS International President. So probably there are not that much people having your insights and your experience with this organization. So allow me the question, where you see ASIS in the future? Where you think ASIS will be in 5 years from now, or with you bearing your experience in mind, probably in 10 years?
Well, there's a famous saying, it's difficult to attribute to it, and which is about predicting. Predicting is very difficult, especially if it concerns the future. So, but let's have a try. There's great change in the world, there's great uncertainty in the world, security has to change. So, in a way, security has to adapt, and therefore ASIS, supporting our members, has to adapt. It's an association with a great legacy. I indeed joined as a student member. At that time that was quite special. It's a time that some people watching this video cannot even imagine, that everything was done by stamps on envelopes and etc. Great change. So society has changed, and it is clear ASIS has changed. So I see more change. There will be different channels. It will be clear that although we have very strong ways of delivery, very strong chapters where people meet, is the camaraderie, the friendship of ASIS, we will have ways of delivering online, virtual, all kinds of things. There might be dual memberships where people say, I'm in a different industry, I'm an HR professional, I'm maybe an architect or someone in a different industry, but I need more security knowledge. It's really necessary for me to be educated, so they can also benefit from us. So there will be a great more diversity in delivery methods, in membership models, in cooperation with other groups, because actually I think the pace of change really requires us to have that change. What it will look like, I don't know. I focus on some key tasks volunteering for ASIS, and as all of us, we all have other activities as well. So to me, ASIS is a very dear activity, close to my heart. It's a hobby in a way. But I wish the organization well, but a lot of change will continue. It's unavoidable that we will change the way we deliver and what we deliver to our members.
Eduard, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much for your valuable insights. Even I know some question was nasty and probably requires a crystal ball, but I couldn't help. Anyway, thank you for being with us. This was Time for Security. Stay with us. See you next time.